So, as PlayStation fans, we aren't doing too badly, are we? In potentially some of the best news we've had all year, because it's definitely been a weird one this year, Spider Man, that's right, Spider Man is a part of the new Marvel Avengers game developed by Square Enix. This is not a joke, this is all a fact, this is happening 100%, it's going to happen early next year as a part of a free DLC, which is also a nice little bonus. It's going to be happening. Very, very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. I'm mind blown at this. I can't believe it. It just casually came out today as well. There was no kind of build up towards it. It was just thrown out there on social media. This is a thing that's happening. This is actually happening, and I mean, wow, very unexpected. According to the kind of early press release, it will be an entirely new take on Spider-Man, so it won't be the previous PS4 version, which I think is a shame. I think they maybe could have incorporated that, considering I originally thought that was kind of part of the whole. I thought that Spider-Man game was like the origin of this sort of Marvel gaming universe. So that is a shame, but I mean, this is very, very exciting. We are going to be getting a new Spider-Man, which means a new voice actor, which is very exciting, a new costume, which is very exciting, and a new Spider-Man within this universe, which is just very exciting. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's. At the minute, there's sort of not very much information on it. There's been like a few little details here and there, but nothing kind of major. So, I mean, this video is just, I'm just going to sort of briefly speculate on a few little bits and pieces that I would like. And yeah, just kind of talk about my overall excitement, because this is very, very exciting. So firstly, I just want to say that I think, of course, because of all this kind of new thing that's going on with this Spider-Man and everything, I think this probably will mean a new voice actor, and I'm a big fan of Yuri Lowenthal, but I think they probably, if they're going to use a new Spider-Man, don't use him. Use someone completely different and someone completely new, and kind of make that, just try and differentiate it from those Spider-Men. So my top pick would probably be either, there's sort of two. There's Josh Keaton, who I'm sure most of you will know from the Spectacular Spider-Man show, which if you've not seen it, why? Because it's literally one of the greatest things on this planet. And someone else I'm really fond of is Drake Bell. Again, from the Ultimate Spider-Man animated show, which again is great. Unfortunately, he gets a lot of hate, and I think his Spider-Man gets a lot of hate, which I personally don't get, because I personally think Drake Bell is probably the greatest voice for Spider-Man, especially in animation, apart from Josh Keaton and maybe Christopher Daniel Barnes, who was a mastermind. He's just legend. But yeah, I mean, those two specifically would be really great. I personally want them to, because this, again, we're not quite sure sort of what age range this new Spider-Man will be. I'm really hoping for a teenager Spider-Man, because I think that's obviously quite popular at the minute with the MCU. My favourite version of Spider-Man is the Ultimate Spider-Man from the Ultimate Comics. Personally, I think that's the kind of definitive Spider-Man. That's what I love about Spider-Man, is that he's a kid, but he's a superhero, and I just think that's such an exciting concept. There's millions of things you can do with that idea, and I think maybe that's something they should maybe consider. But obviously, if we get an older Spider-Man, that's really exciting. I'd be quite intrigued to get a Spider-Man maybe that's again completely different to the PS4 version, and be maybe like in his 30s, maybe married to Mary Jane or something like that, and a fully kind of well-developed Spider-Man would be very, very cool. Might be quite a cool way to kind of go about it. And again, Josh Keaton or Drake Bell would kind of fit either the really, really young Spider-Man or maybe the slightly older Spider-Man. So, I mean, that's just really exciting. But obviously going to be getting a new costume. I really desperately just want... I was a huge fan of the White Spider on the PS4 suit. I think that's amazing, and I was in love with it the minute I saw it, and I'm still in love with it now. I love that suit. But I'd really, really love just like a classic Steve Ditko suit. I want the spider webs, or the web wings. I really, really want those, because I just think that's just a classic Spider-Man look. I mean, that, if you just look up an image of Ditko Spider-Man, that is Spider-Man nailed. That is the definitive look for Spider-Man. Just a classic suit, maybe like a little kind of spider on the chest, big spider on the back, just perfect. Bright red and blue, gorgeous. That's kind of the thing I kind of want them to kind of go for. Quite thick raised sort of lines would be really cool, sort of web lines across the suit, like a really vibrant red, but then maybe like a sort of darker blue with sort of hints of a lighter blue inside the dark blue would be gorgeous. So that's something I hope you get to see. We've kind of had like a little kind of hint at what the suit will kind of look like in the little sort of circular image that's been revealed. That's really, really exciting. It looks like it's going to be... well, to be fair, it's actually quite similar to the spider signal from Captain America Civil War and obviously the comics. Which, just as a little side note, I really think they should do something with that spider signal in the films. Maybe just bring it back in like Spider-Man 3, the film out next year. Might be a cool little thing to maybe do. But anyway, that's beside the point. Spider-Man, PS4, perfect. So that's, yeah, I think... it's mind-blowing, isn't it? I can't believe it. This is something us fans have been like talking about for a while, and I guess it was kind of like a dream, really. You know, it was something, because I think even the developers have come out and said, yeah, we're not doing that. And I mean, this is happening. This is a thing that's actually going to happen. So, I mean, at the minute, as I said, it's very kind of early doors at the moment. Very, very early doors. We don't really know too much about what's going on, other than it will be free DLC and it will be out early next year. So I'm sure we'll find out loads more information sort of later down the line. But yeah, I mean, Spider-Man is in the game, and last week we found out Hawkeye's in the game, which is really exciting. Really, really exciting, and we will probably get a reveal of Captain Marvel at some point, and Ant-Man, I'd imagine. And Black Panther would be incredible, and Doctor Strange, how exciting would that be? Yeah, I mean, this is such an exciting time to be a Marvel fan. You know, this game, everything I've seen from this Avengers game, I've been a fan since day one. I'm a huge fan of all the looks for the characters. I think Captain America looks phenomenal. I love that suit so much. I think Thor looks amazing. Black Widow looks phenomenal. Miss Marvel looks amazing. Hulk looks spectacular. Iron Man looks phenomenal. The whole look of the game is incredible. We've got MODOK as a main villain, which is again really exciting, because in sort of to kind of like a generic Marvel fan who maybe doesn't necessarily know the kind of back lore of a lot of stuff, who doesn't read the comics, who maybe has only seen the movies, I think the idea of MODOK is very, very exciting, and hopefully that will kind of push the character, because I'm a huge fan of him. I'm also a really big fan of the leader and Arnim Zola, maybe if they were going to come in at any point, and Kang the Conqueror. I'm a huge fan of him. This is just really, really exciting, these villains they're going to be using, and I can't wait to see Spidey. I just can't wait to kick ass as Spidey. Just sort of, you know, really kind of just really, 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 really just get him, Spidey. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be able to do that, and I think that's really exciting. Yeah, as you can probably hear in my voice, I'm just mind blown. But yeah, I mean, I think, again, this game, you know, as I said, I've been a huge fan of it, and I think everything about it so far, I've been completely sold, and now this reveal of Spider-Man, I'm like, just, you know, Sony, you already had my money, so just take it. Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very good time to be a fan, and I do genuinely believe that this will be the greatest Marvel game since the release of Lego Marvel Superheroes, which personally, that is, I think, the definitive Marvel game. I just think it's a masterpiece. And huge, massive fan of Spider-Man PS4. I love it so much. I mean, I'm sure if you ever played it, you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to explain why I love that game. It is literally a love letter to Spider-Man, and I love it so much. But I think the idea of these other characters just kind of explores the world of Marvel more, and I think that's a really exciting kind of idea and concept. And I just think, yeah, it's very, very exciting. So, I mean, once we kind of know a little bit more, I'll be able to sort of talk about it a bit more, and hopefully we can speculate a bit more, and hopefully we'll find out who's doing the voice, because that's something that I'm really kind of keen to know as well. I'm very kind of, I think the voice of Spider-Man is arguably just as important as anything else in the character. In the character design, I think they need to really, really nail that casting, and they have with the rest of the Avengers. They all sound perfect. So yeah, I mean, it's just if you're a fan of Marvel, if you're a PlayStation fan, if you're an Avengers fan, if you're a Spider-Man fan, this is a very, very good time to be alive.